Sports Rich here with Week 13 this Thanksgiving weekend. These are noon games, a ton of noon games, so just bear with me. Ohio State taking on Illinois. Ohio State beat Indiana 42-35. Justin Fields 300 yards, two touchdowns, but had 3 interceptions. He's done out of the Heisman. 78 rushing yards and a pick and a touchdown. Master Teague ran for 169 2 touchdown. Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 169 2 touchdown. Chris Olave, 8 catches, 101 and a touchdown. They had 607 yards. They did turn it over 3 times, but they forced 4 turnovers and had a pick 6 in that win. Illinois, they had a nice win against Nebraska, 41-23. Brandon Peters, 205 passing and a touchdown, 36 rushing and a touchdown. Mike Epstein, 113 rushing and a touchdown. Chase Brown, 110 rushing and 2 touchdowns. They ran for 285. They forced 5 turnovers. If they can do that against Ohio State, maybe they can upset them, but I don't think they will. I think Ohio State destroys them. All right, Kentucky and Florida. Kentucky got killed by Alabama 63-3. Wilson, 120 passing and a pick, and that's it. Florida, Trask, he's the front-runner for the Heisman. They beat Vanderbilt 38-17. Trask, 383 passing, 3 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney, 6 catches, 107 and a touchdown. 586 total yards. I think this may be close early on. Kentucky always plays Florida pretty tough, but right now Trask is on a roll, and I think Florida will end up with a pretty big margin of victory. All right, Maryland and Indiana. This could be a really high-scoring game. Maryland hasn't played in a few weeks. They beat Penn State a few weeks ago, 35-19. Talia Tagovailoa, 282 passing, 3 touchdowns. Raheem Jarrett, 5 catches, 144 and 2 touchdowns. They had 7 sacks in that game and a fumble return touchdown. Indiana, they had a close game against Ohio State. They lost 42-35, but Michael Penix went off for 491 yards, 5 touchdown passes, and a pick. Ty Freifogel, 7 catches, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns there. They had 5 sacks there. They turned over 4 times, which is why they lost. I think this is going to go back and forth. I'll give Indiana a slight edge, but this really should be an awesome game to watch. All right, Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Texas Tech hasn't played in a few weeks. They beat Baylor a few weeks ago, 24-23 in a game-winning field goal. Oklahoma State, they got destroyed by Oklahoma, 41-13. Sanders only had 97 rushing yards and a pick. Shane Illingworth was 5 for 21 for 71 yards and a touchdown. They were pretty terrible. I think Oklahoma State will be the one that bounces back here and gets a win over Texas Tech. All right, NC State and Syracuse. NC State, they actually knocked off Liberty. Liberty was undefeated and ranked. They beat them 15-14. It was more about their defense. They forced 3 turnovers. Their running back, Zonovan Knight, had 96 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns and a big one there. Syracuse, they got blanked by Louisville 30-0. They were terrible. Jacoby Morgan, 5 of 12, 40 yards and a pick. They only had 137 total yards in that game. They did have 4 sacks and forced 3 turnovers. I think NC State will be the one that wins that game. Penn State and Michigan, both are horrible this year. Penn State, they lost to Iowa 41-21. Sean Clifford, 174 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Jahan Dotson, 8 catches, 139 and a touchdown, and 4 turnovers in that game. Michigan finally beat Rutgers in triple overtime, 48-42. Cade McNamara came in 260 passing and 4 touchdowns. Hassan Haskins ran for 109 and a touchdown, and they had a kick return touchdown. I think Michigan may have found something with Cade McNamara at quarterback, and I think they will beat Penn State. Vanderbilt, Missouri. Vanderbilt got shellacked by Florida 38-17. Ken Seals had a good game to a 319, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Missouri, they beat South Carolina 17-10 with Basilik throwing for 203, touchdown and a pick. This could be kind of high scoring, but I'm going to go with... I'm kind of leaning Missouri in this game, but this really could go either way. All right, SMU, Southern Methodist Mustangs, and the ECU Pies. SMU, they lost to Tulsa a few weeks ago. They had a 21-0 lead. They lost 28-24. Shamby showed 200 passing yards and a touchdown and a pick. Ulysses Bentley ran for 103 and a touchdown. They had a pick 6 in that game. ECU, they beat Temple pretty easily, 28-3. Holt Nailers, 182 passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, plus 70 rushing yards and a touchdown. Keaton Mitchell ran for 103. He forced 3 touchdowns, had a kick return touchdown there. This could be a pretty high-scoring game, and I'm going to say SMU shoots last. Georgia Southern, Georgia State, good game here. Georgia Southern, they only lost by a point to Army 28-27, and that's because their fucking kicker missed an extra point, or it got blocked, my bad. Sherwood's passed for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for 1. They forced 2 turnovers in that game. Georgia State, they had a nice win against South Alabama, 31-14. Cornelius Brown he had a weird game. He passed for 334 yards, but he had 3 interceptions in that game. If he does that against Georgia Southern, they're going to lose. Sam Pinkney, 5 catches, 176. They had 556 total yards, but they did have 4 turnovers. However, defensively, they forced 7 sacks. That won't help them against Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern runs a triple option. They may not pass it 7 times. This could go back and forth. Could be a pretty entertaining game, and I'm going to Georgia Southern to get the victory at the end. All right, Northern Illinois and Western Michigan. NIU lost a close game to Ball State, 31-25. Ross Bowers, 300 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Tyrese Ritchie, 11 catches, 108, and a touchdown. Western Michigan, they outshot Central Michigan 52-44. Caleb Ellaby, 382 passing, 5 touchdown passes, and a pick. Ladarius Jefferson ran for 150. Dwayne Eskridge had 4 catches for 212 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hall had 4 catches for 110 and 2 touchdowns. They had 628 total yards. I think Western Michigan destroys Northern Illinois. Bowling Green in Ohio. Bowling Green lost big to Buffalo 42-17. They didn't really have much going offensively. Ohio hasn't played in a few weeks. When they did, they beat Akron 24-10. Demontre Togo ran for 139 and 2 touchdowns. They forced 3 turnovers. This could be a pretty close game, and I'm going to go Ohio here in the end. Kent State Buffalo. This could be one of the best games of the MAC season. 2 really good offenses. Kent State, they're actually number 1 in the country in yards per game. They beat Akron 69-35. Dustin Crum, 348 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 104 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Marquez Cooper ran for 107 and 3 touchdowns. Isaiah McCoy, 6 catches, 140 and a touchdown. They had 750 yards in that game. Whereas Buffalo, they beat Bowling Green 42-17 on the strength of Jarrett Patterson rushing. He ran for 301 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Yes, he ran for 301 yards alone. They had 4 sacks in the game. This could be awesome going back and forth. Buffalo's going to need to rely on their 2 really good running backs in Patterson and Kevin Marks to keep that really good Kent State offense off the field. I think Buffalo's going to get a slight in the end, but this is going to be a great, great action game. Ball State Toledo, this could be really high scoring. Both really good offenses. Ball State beat NIU 31-25. Drew Plitt, 214 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Caleb Huntley ran for 103 and a touchdown. Tyler, 7 catches, 108 and a touchdown and a pick 6. Toledo beat Eastern Michigan 45-28. Peters, he was hurt. He had 190 passing, 2 touchdowns. Carter Bradley came in, filled in nicely, 108 passing, 2 touchdowns. Bryant Koback ran for 149 and a touchdown, 4 sacks, 3 turnovers, and a pick 6 in that game. Like I said, this will go back and forth. It'll be a fun game to watch, but I think Toledo will be the one that gets the score at the end in a high-scoring affair. Miami of Ohio, they got killed by Buffalo a few weeks ago, 42-10. A.J. Meyer was terrible, 7-25, 116, 1 touchdown, a pick. Akron, yeah, they lost to Kent State, but they actually put up 35 points. Tion Dollard ran for 202, 4 touchdowns in that game. Akron, they've lost 19 consecutive games. I'm going to say they stopped that streak, and I think Akron gets this win against Miami of Ohio. UTEP and Rice. UTEP lost to UTSA 52-21. Gavin Hardison, 159 passing and a touchdown. They gave up 600 yards defensively. Rice, they lost a pretty close game to North Texas, 27-17. Mike Collins, 327 passing, 2 touchdowns. Austin Trammell, 6 catches, 116 and a touchdown. This could be kind of close when I go Rice in the end. Then you got Coastal Carolina, Texas State. Coastal Carolina outlasted Appalachian State in a really good game. Actually, it was 34-23. It was a little bit closer than that. Grayson McCall, 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, plus 69 rushing yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 3 catches, 118 and a touchdown. They forced 3 turnovers in that game. Texas State, awesome shootout game against Arkansas State. Just like I thought it was going to be, passing all over the yard. Texas State, though, outlasted them 47-45. Brady McBride, 443 passing, 5 touchdown passes. They put up 505 yards. They gave up 654. This could be a pretty interesting game. Coastal Carolina is undefeated, and they're ranked. They may be the best team in the Sun Belt. Texas State, with that offense, can put a scare into people, but I'm going to say Coastal Carolina still continues to roll. All right, rivalry game, Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns and Louisiana Monroe Warhawks. Louisiana Lafayette, they beat South Alabama a few weeks ago, 38-10. Levi Lewis, 252 passing, 3 touchdowns and a pick, 506 total yards. ULM, a few weeks ago, they lost to Georgia State, 52-34. Jeremy Hunt, 339 passing, 3 touchdowns in that game. Perry Carter, 4 catches, 124 and 2 touchdowns. But ULM has been pretty bad all year. Louisiana Lafayette, still one of the best teams in the Sun Belt. Louisiana Lafayette, I think, wins this one and probably wins this one decisively. North Texas Mean Green and the UTSA Roadrunners. North Texas beat a good Rice team 27-17. Jason Bean, not very good passing, 9 of 20, 120 passing and a touchdown. He added 94 rushing yards and a touchdown. Torrey ran for 102 and a touchdown. They had 7 sacks in that win. Whereas UTSA had a close win against Southern Miss, 23-20. Frank Harris, not very much passing, 701 passing yards, touchdown and pick, but it was all about Sincere McCormick, the nation's second leading rusher. 173 passing, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, they did have a safety. This could be a pretty high-scoring game, but I'm going to North Texas shooting last. Then the final of the noon games, Arkansas State and South Alabama. Arkansas State, they lost in a shootout to Texas State 47-45. Both their quarterbacks played really well. Lane Hatcher, 254 passing and 2 touchdowns. Logan Bonner, 208 passing and 2 touchdowns. Jamal Jones ran for 106 and a touchdown. Jeff Foreman, 3 catches, 148 and a touchdown. Jonathan Adams, the nation's leading rusher, I believe he is, or close to like top 3. 10 catches, 141 and 2 touchdowns. They had 654 total yards in that loss. Whereas South Alabama, they got beat by Georgia State 31-14. Desmond Trotter passed for 211. They did force 4 turnovers. If they want to keep it close with Arkansas State's high-powered offense, they're going to need to do that again. I'm not sure they will. I'm going to go Arkansas State gets a big win there. So those are my noon picks. Check out my 3:30 midday picks, my primetime picks, all my other videos too. Peace.